Welcome to the theater, to the magic, to the fun.
Live from the stage of the Palace Theater on Broadway, the 25th annual presentation of the American Theater wins Tony Awards for excellence in the Broadway theater. Produced by the League of New York Theaters. Tonight, we salute 25 years of Tony Award-winning musicals. Finian's Rainbow, High Button Shoes, Kiss Me Kate, South Pacific, Guys and Dolls, The King and I, Wonderful Town, Kismet, Pajama Game, Damn Yankees, My Fair Lady, The Music Man, Redhead, Figaro, The Sound of Music, Bye Bye Birdie, How to Succeed, Forum, Hello Dolly, Fiddler on the Roof, Maine, Man of La Mancha, Cabaret, Hallelujah Baby, 1776, applause.
What's happening at the Palace? I'll tell you what's happening at the Palace. It's the 25th birthday of the Tony Awards, which are given each year for outstanding achievement in the theater without prejudice or malice. That's what's happening at the Palace.
Who picks the nominees for the Tony Awards? I'll tell you who picks the nominees for the Tony Awards. With the approval of the Executive Committee, the President of the League of New York Theaters appoints a panel of critics who care what's happening on the boards. That's who picks the nominees for the Tony Awards.
How do they count the final votes? I'll tell you how they count the final votes. 435 ballots are distributed to qualified voters, and the results are tabulated by certified public accountants Lutz and Carr, who see that till a big moment when the winners are announced, the envelopes are not opened or lost or chewed up by a herd of ghosts.
That's how they count the final votes.
Those are the facts, we won't repeat them. And now our host and hostesses, let's meet them. When you see a dish, who is every man's wish? Who is blonde, slinky, willowy, svelte and tall? She's a baritone who's a belle of the ball. She's the star of applause, and having her ball, it's hard to call. You see a guy who looks 7 feet high, who can break any chain you could wrap him in. Not a chic or a weak man, here comes Joe the dancing Greek man. Snap your fingers for Anthony Tony Quinn. It's Quinn, it's Quinn. When you see a lass who is dripping with class, who's surrounded by loyal and loving fans, on the stage and screen she was always a name,
But she really hit fame, starring in Maine.
it's Angela Lansbury. When you see a duke who is cool as a puke, who's as British as kippers and cakes and ale, he is suave, he is clever, and in suit he will run forever. Rule Britannia, it's Anthony Tony Quayle.
Starring Edie Adams, Vivian Blaine, Tom Bosley, Hugh Brenner, Dick Cavett, Carol Channing, Bill Daniels, Alfred Drake, Annette Fabray, Jill Hallworth, Florence Henderson, Stanley Holloway, Ruby Keeler, Richard Kiley, Paul Lynde, Patricia Morrison, Robert Morse, Cyril Mostel, Robert Preston, John Raitt, Leslie Uggams, Gwen Burton, Virginia Vestoff, Ray Walston, David Wayne, and your hosts, Lauren Bacall, Angela Lansbury, Anthony Quayle, Anthony Quinn. The 25th Annual Tony Awards are brought to you by...
We had to bring you this year's Tonys from the Palace. You know, during the exciting years of vaudeville, the dream of every performer was to play the Palace. And when you did, you had really made the big time. As they said, you'd really come of age. Well, tonight the Tonys have come of age. They are 25, and we welcome all of you to the birthday party.
While being 25 isn't actually ancient, still it is a quarter of a century, and it's been a very eventful 2.5 decades. In 1947, the first Tony Awards were presented by the American Theatre Wing for excellence in the theatre. The Second World War was just over, and Harry Truman was president. Women were wearing the new look and staggering around on high-heeled shoes. Broadway was feeling threatened by an emerging new form of entertainment, television. And soon everyone would be staying home on Wednesday evenings to watch Uncle Milty. But new writers appeared to help the theater overcome its problems. Tennessee Williams wrote A Streetcar Named Desire, and in it Marlon Brando joined the ranks of Broadway stars. An actor named Tony Quinn made his Broadway debut in The Gentleman from Athens, and audiences were stunned by their identification with Willy Loman, the central character. The American tragedy, The Death of a Salesman, which won the Pulitzer Prize and the Tony for its perceptive playwright Arthur Miller. After many years of thinking mainly about Europe and the Pacific, Americans were beginning to be aware of social changes here at home. Jackie Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers and became the first black man to play organized baseball. And where was the musical? It was dealing with human relations and civil rights, although it had its lighter moments. Here, 25 years later, recreating one of those magic moments, Tony-winning David Wayne and Finian's Rainbow.
Oh, my heart is beating wildly, and it's all because you're here. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near. Every femme that flutters by me is a flame that must be fanned. When I can't fondle the hand I'm fond of, I fondle the hand at hand. For Sharon I'm caring, but Susan I'm choosing. I'm faithful to whosen is here. When I'm not near the girl I love the girl I'm near.
Shoes, and every bit as lovely then as she is now, Nanette Fabre.
Harper, won't you dance with me? Ah, dance with me, please dance with me. Harper, take a chance with me and dance with me tonight. And when you whirl me round and round, we'll go right off the ground. We'll go around and round. And when we hear those trombones sliding high the boat, gliding high up to the sky, I love the polka. Papa, won't you dance with me? Oh, dance with me, please dance with me. When you hold me tight, oh Papa, won't you dance with me? Won't you dance with me? Won't you dance with me?
melodies and incredibly sophisticated lyrics of Cole Porter won him the Tony for Kiss Me Kate and for its star. We roll back the years to Kiss Me Kate and Alfred Drake.
Since I reached the charming age of puberty and began to finger feminine curves, like a show that's typically Schuberty, I have always had a multitude of girls. But now that I'm married man, at last am I, how aware of my dear departed past am I. Where is the life that late I led? Where is it now? Totally dead. Where is the fun I used to find? Where has it gone? Gone with the wind. The married life may all be well, but raising an heir could never compare with raising a bit of hell. So I repeat what first I said. Where is the life that late I? Where is Rebecca? My Becky Vecchio? Could still she be cruising that amusing Ponte Vecchio? Where is Fedora, the wild Virago? It's lucky I missed her gangster sister from Chicago. Where is Venetia, who loved to chat so? Could still she be drinking in her stinking pink palazzo? And lovely Lisa, where are you, Lisa? You gave a new meaning to the leaning tower of Pisa. Where is the life that late I led? Where is it now? Totally dead. Where is the fun I used to find? Where has it gone? Gone with the wind. I've oft been told of nuptial bliss, but what do you do? 1:45 with only a shrew to kiss. So I repeat what first I said. Where is the life that late I led?
As the decade ended, televiewers of all ages were watching Kukla, Fran and Ali, or I Love Lucy, and singing, If I Knew You Were Coming, I Would Have Baked a Cake. As they mailed their dollars off to pyramid clubs, people began to see flying saucers. They also began to build bomb shelters in their backyards because, for the second time in 5 years, America was at war. Our soldiers were fighting in the Pacific in Korea. And Broadway theater audiences were thrilling to the melodies of South Pacific and happily ingesting its timely message of tolerance and common humanity. In one scene, the folks at home begin to understand the frustration of our fighting men in Asia. From the winning musical South Pacific, Ray Walston and the Seabees.
We got sunlight on the sand, we got moonlight on the sea, we got mangoes and bananas you can pick right off a tree. We got volleyball and ping pong and a lot of dandy games. What ain't we got? We ain't got dames. We got nothing to put on a clean white suit for. What we need is what there ain't no substitute for. There is nothing like a dame, nothing in the world. There is nothing you can name that is anything like a dame. There ain't a thing that's wrong with him, and here that can't be cured by putting him near a girly woman.
1951, Americans were reading From Here to Eternity, singing Come On to My House, and on the small home screens, Edward R. Murrow was helping us to see it now. The Giants introduced a pretty fair ball player named Willie Mays, and Tennessee Williams won the Tony for The Rose Tattoo. And the musical that year, Frank Lesser's Guys and Dolls. Can we ever forget Miss Adelaide and her struggle to get Nathan Detroit to marry her? Well, here she is, still at it, Vivian Blaine.
It says here, the average unmarried female, basically insecure, due to some long frustration, may react with psychosomatic symptoms, difficult to endure, affecting the upper respiratory tract. In other words, just from waiting around for that plain little band of gold, a person develop a cold. You can spray it wherever you think you're the streptococci. You can give her a shot for whatever she's got, but it just won't work. If she's tired of getting that fish eye from the hotel clerk, a person can develop a cold. In other words, just from wondering whether the wedding is on or off, a person can develop a cold. You can feed her all day with the vitamin A and the bromophil, but the medicine never gets anywhere near where the trouble is. If she's getting a kind of a name for herself and the name ain't his, a person can develop a cold. And furthermore, just from stalling the wedding trip, a person can develop lock grip. When they get on the train for Niagara, and she can hear church bells chime, the compartment is air conditioned, and the mood sublime. Then they get off at Saratoga for the 14th time. A person can develop lock grip, la post-nasal drip, with the wheezes and the sneezes and the sinus that's really a pip. From a lack of community property, a feeling she's getting too old, a person can develop a bad cold.
Adelaide Stevenson ran for president, and a new word, egghead, joined the vocabulary. Television quiz shows became the rage, and the world was fascinated by the search for Bridie Murphy. In the musical theater, there was a lovely story of the romance between an English governess and the king of an Asian country. We call it Thailand today. Then it was still Siam. The King and I, with Patricia Morrison and the Royal Yul Brynner.
A girl must be like a blossom, with honey for just one man. A man must live like honeybee and gather all he can. To fly from blossom to blossom, a honeybee must be free, but blossom must not ever fly from bee to bee to bee.
And you consider that sensible poetry?
Certainly.
Your Majesty, in my country the customs are rather different. And a young girl at her first dance, oh, it's very exciting to be a young girl at your first dance. You're seated on a small gilt chair, your eyes lowered, terrified that you'll be a wallflower. Suddenly you see 2 black shoes, a white waistcoat, a face. It speaks. We've just been introduced. I do not know you well, but when the music started, something drew me to your side. So many men and girls are in each other's arms. It made me think we might be similarly occupied. I was dancing. In my country, a woman would not dance with a man looking on.
But you will dance with strange man, holding hands, etc.
No, not a strange man. Sometimes a very good friend.
Good. Then we dance together. You show me. Teach, teach, teach.
Well, it's not very difficult, the polka. Let me see. It goes 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and.
1, 2, 3, and.
Shall we dance?
1, 2, 3, and.
On a bright cloud of music, shall we fly?
1, 2, 3, and.
Shall we dance?
1, 2, 3, and.
Shall we then say goodnight and mean goodbye?
1, 2, 3, and. Oh, perchance, when the last little star has left the sky. Shall we dance? Shall we dance?
Now, 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,
and.
Something wrong. Oh no, I forget and. Next time I remember. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and.
Splendid, you're
Splendid, splendid. You throw me off count. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. It was not like this.
Of course it was.
Not the way I see the English dance tonight.
But that's exactly the way they were dancing.
We're not holding 2 hands like this.
Well, no. As a matter of fact, they weren't.
Was, like this. Now? Come.
Yul Brynner has become a tremendously respected star of international repute. But in 1952, he won his Tony for the Best Supporting Actor in a Musical. So you see what can happen. The nominees this year for the Best Supporting Actor in a Musical are Keane Curtis in The Rothschilds, Charles Kimbrough in Company, and Walter Willison in 2x2. And the winner is Keen Curtis in the last one.
Thank you very much. I must say, it's very reassuring to follow another bald head on stage. Particularly such an illustrious one. This is a great honor for me, for my 4 villains in the Rothschilds. The only other prize I've received for playing a multiple of roles was for a play we did in our garage when I was 7 years old. And my award then was an empty soup can with a Tootsie Roll inside. This is ever so much nicer. Thank you very much.
The nominees for the Best Supporting Actress in a Musical are Patsy Kelly in No No Nanette, Barbara Barry in Company, and Pamela Myers also in Company. And the winner is Patsy Kelly.
The nomination was enough, but this is too much. It would take me years to thank all the people who got me up to this very thrilling spot here tonight. But I would like to thank our producers, Mr. Harry Rigby, Mrs. Rubin, our dear Bert Sheveloff, and most of all, our just glorious Ruby Keeler. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I'm going home now and faint. Goodbye.
The mid-50s were a time of uncertainty. America and Russia now both had the hydrogen bomb. A senator in Washington began to capitalize on everyone's fears. And suddenly we had another new word, McCarthyism. Arthur Miller won the Tony that year for his brilliant play about the Salem witch hunts, The Crucible. The Beat Generation was with us. We were reading their poetry, and Marjorie Morningstar. Leonard Bernstein's Wonderful Town won the Tony. Theatergoers applauded his wonderful score, and Edie Adams.
It's love, it's love. Well, who would have thought it? If this is love, then why have I fought it? What a way to feel I could touch the sky. What a way to feel I have found my guy. It's love at last, I've someone to cheer for. It's love at last, I've learned what we're here for. I've heard it said, you'll know it when you see it. Well, I see it, I know it, it's love. Cheer for, it's love at last, I've learned what we're here for. I've heard it said, you'll know it when you see it. Well, I see it, I know it, it's love.
In 1954, our old Shakespearean friend Alfred Drake turned Arab philosopher and won a Tony for himself and Kismet.
A fool sat beneath an olive tree, and a wondrous thought had he. So he rose, and he told it to the sky. And where was I? Behind the tree. I overheard his reverie. Why be content with an olive when you could have the tree? Why be content to be nothing when there's nothing you couldn't be? Why be contented with one olive tree when you could have the whole olive grove? Why be content with a grove when you could have the world? The fool stood beneath the olive tree. What a wondrous thought, said he, but alas, it is very, very deep. And then he yawned and went to sleep, because you see, he was a fool. Why be content with an olive when you could have the tree? That which has lulled you to sleep full has awakened me. Why should I sigh that my lot is my lot, that I can't make it anything more, when this is a lie, an excuse for a fool to snore? I walk from behind the olive tree with a wondrous change in me, for I walked with my eye upon a star. If you have heard and do not heed, there is a word for what you are. And oh, my friend, the word is fool.
That same year, a dancer named Gwen Burton high-kicked her way onto the stage in Can-Can and collected her first of many Tonys.
The winner of the Tony that year was Michael Kidd for the dancers and for the dances from Can-Can. He is a nominee again this year for the musical The Rothschilds. The other nominees are Donald Sadler for No No Nanette and Michael Bennett for Company. And the winner is... The winner is Donald Sadler.
I should like to accept this as a tribute to all the marvelous dancers in No No Nanette. Ruby and Helen and Bobby, Patsy, Susan, and Roger, and well, I could go on and on and on, and they're all just marvelous, and they imbue each night the life into all the numbers, which I'm most grateful. I would like to say special thanks to my co-workers, Ted Cappy and Marianne Niles, and to the wonderful dance music written by Luther Henderson. Thank you.
The bus boycott, and the nation first became aware of Dr. Martin Luther King. Rock and roll music began to replace the sentimental ballad, and satirists Mike Nichols and Elaine May helped us put our troubles in perspective. People were either pro or con about unions, and Broadway took up the theme with The Pajama Game, one of the hit songs from that year's Tony winner, sung by the original star, John Raitt. Hey there!
Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. Hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Though she won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday she'll come to you. Better forget her, her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string break. She won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other?
In 1956, it seemed as if the entire country were moving to the suburbs, and you just weren't with it if you didn't have an outside barbecue grill. Ladies were wearing the sack, men were smiling over Marilyn Monroe. Wow, and an actress. That's Marilyn Monroe. And an actress from Philadelphia married a prince. Yul Brynner won the Academy Award for the motion picture version of The King and I, and The Diary of Anne Frank won the Tony for the best play. Ray Walston earned one that year as well in a show called Damn Yankees.
I played the devil, you see, and I had this very attractive chick working for me. It was Gwen Verdon, and she won a Tony too. Being a magical sort of devil, I could summon her whenever I wanted, with just a snap of the fingers.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. And little man, little Lola wants you. Make up your mind to have no regrets. Recline yourself, resign yourself, you're through. I always get what I came for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. No use to fight, don't
The nominees for Best Director of a Musical are Michael Kidd for The Rothschilds, Harold Prince for Company, Bert Shavalov for No No Nanette, Robert Livingston for The Me Nobody Knows. And the winner is... Oh, God. I can't stand it. Harold Prince, Company!
Some night, seeing John Raitt up there doing that's overwhelming for me. Oh, there's so many people to thank. 14 stalwarts at Company, George Firth for that book, Steve Sondheim, Michael Bennett, everyone, and you. Thank you.
In 1957, Winston Churchill was 83, and I personally was thrilled to be able to fly London, New York in a little over 8 hours. There were a couple of upsets that year. Russia launched Sputnik, and in the Miss Universe contest, Miss USA had to be disqualified when it was discovered that she was married. But life went on, and people still went to the theater. They witnessed the Broadway debut of Angela Lansbury in Hotel Paradiso, and they saw one of the all-time musical greats, My Fair Lady, a mixture of literate wit, enchanting melody, and moments of bawdy English music hall. Will we ever forget Stanley Holloway and Get Me to the Church on Time?
I get married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Pull out the stopper, let's have a whopper, but get me to the church on time. I got to be down in the morning, spruced up, looking in me prime. Girls, come and kiss me, show how you'll miss me, but get me to the church on time. If I am dancing, roll up the floor. If I am whistling, me out the door. Oh, I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime. Kick up a rumpus, but don't lose the compass, and get me to the church. Get me to the church. Oh, for peace sake, get me to the church. On time.
The nominees for Best Supporting Actress in a Play are Mona Washburn in Home, Ray Allen in And Miss Reardon Drinks a Little, Lily Darvash in Les Blancs, and Joan Van Ark in The School for Wives. And the winner is Ray Allen.
Well, I'm an old gypsy, and I got spawned out of George Abbott, and I'm glad. And I know exactly how Hal felt, because I was one of those sewing machine girls when John Raitt sang that song, and it was swell. There are a lot of people to thank, and everybody knows who they are, but I would especially like to thank all the people who were involved in Miss Reardon, because it's a straight play. I'd like to thank Melvin Bernhardt, and Paul Zindel and all the producers, but I think I got to share this with the other actors in the play because it's an ensemble. So I got to thank Julie and Estelle and Nancy and Bill Macy, especially Bill Macy, and little Paul and Virginia. And thanks a lot.
The nominees for Best Supporting Actor in a Play are Paul Sand in Story Theatre, Donald Pickering in Conduct Unbecoming, Ronald Rad in Abelard and Eloise, and Ed Zimmerman in The Philanthropist. And the winner is Paul Sand in Story Theatre.
I have a hard time with reality, and this is... very, very real, and I'm very lucky to work with such incredible people as I'm working with, and such incredible musicians who are working with us. They really keep us all going, and it's wonderful to be here, and thank you very much.
Alaska became the 49th state, and we all threw our backs out with hula hoops. Two of the year's top films were based on Broadway plays, Gigi and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And Gwen Verdon danced off with her third award. The big trumpeting musical winner with its 76 trombones was The Music Man. And the award for the best actor in a musical went to the Music Man himself, Robert Preston.
Either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. Certainly mighty proud to say I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Help you cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leave to yourself from a three-railed billiard shot? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a balk-line game, I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit and listening to some big out-of-town Jasper, hearing him tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they set down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch, make your blood boil, well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. And all week long, you River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket. Never mind getting dandelions pulled to the screen door, patched to the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker, shirt-tail young ones, peeking in the pool hall window after school. You got trouble, folks, right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They've been trying out Bevo, trying out Cubats, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall, heading for the dance at the Armory, libertine men and scarlet women, and ragtime, shameless music that'll grab your son, your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble, we got trouble, right here in River City, with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. We've surely got trouble, right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Our children's children gonna have trouble, 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 trouble.
Mothers of River City. Heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz-bang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell. Ah, and so's your old man. Trouble. Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is a devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble. Oh, yes, we got trouble. With a T. Gotta rhyme it with P. And it stands for pool. Remember, my friends, listen to me because I passed this way, but...
ended, Hawaii joined the Union, and America had a little over 500 advisors in a tiny Asian country called Vietnam. We were reading Exodus, watching Charlton Heston race chariots as Ben-Hur, and applauding the Broadway debut of Lauren Bacall in Goodbye, Charlie. A mystery musical called Redhead won the Tony Award itself, and for its 2 stars, Richard Kiley, his first, and Gwen Verdon, our old friend, her 4th.
Look who's in love. We are, well, aren't we? Look who's happy and high. Will you look who's in our arms? No one but us. Who is tugging at my heart?
Who is?
You is? Who was surprised? We were, well, weren't we? You look as tipsy as I. Hear me say, hey people, how blessed can I be? Look who's in love with me.
Look who's in love. We are, well, aren't we? Look who's happy and high. Will you look who's in our arms? No one but us. Who is tugging at my heart?
Who is?
You is. Who was surprised? We were, well, weren't we? You look as tipsy as I. Hear me say, hey people, how blessed can I be? Look who's in love.
Look who's in love.
Look who's in love with me.
Well, it was a new decade full of hope with a new word, commitment. Early in the year, we saw the first lunch counter sit-in, and the movement, mainly young, spread quickly across the nation. Strangely, it was the same year we built our first retirement village and started looking for euphemisms, senior citizens or mature adults. For the first time, the voters couldn't decide which musical should win, and there was a tie. The Sound of Music dealt with human courage in the face of European political insanity, and Fiorello, with its warm portrait of New York's Mayor LaGuardia, dealt with much the same problem here at home. Its 1960 with Florence Henderson in The Sound of Music and Tom Bosley as Fiorello.
My friends, I want each and every one of you to take a long, deep breath, like this. You know what that smell is? Tammany. They've been stinking up this district long enough. It's time to get the garbage off the doorstep, and I've got the shovel to do it with. Your vote. Come election day, put that pencil cross next to the name of Fiorello H. LaGuardia. Laguardia. Now here's another name. Tammany. What's that?
Tammany?
Wrong, the answer's tyranny. Tammany spells tyranny like R-A-T spells rat. Now there's a double M in Tammany and a double L in Gaul. Just like the double dealing, double crossing, double talking, double by duplicity of Tammany Hall. But you can change it all. Go use the ballot box and cast your spell come next election day. The name's LaGuardia. Laguardia. Attenti. Chi sta per voglio vi. A-T-T-A-N-T-E Tammany. Che fesse tempo fa. Venite tutti quanti a casa, fatte vengano. Ich bin LaGuardia. Das ist la Medal, Kimmel, alle Preisstahlen, Judein, die vergessen das nicht. Ich sag so, ich Tammany ist nicht, was ich hab, das sind Sinnen und herzig und zäh.
America launched its first spaceman, Alan Shepard, and miniskirts began across the sea and swing in London. Richard Burton won a Tony Award as King Arthur in Camelot, and the country had found a name for the stylish and hopeful new administration in Washington. On a crisp, snowy day, John F. Kennedy became the 35th President of the United States. Laurence Olivier and Anthony Quinn starred in Beckett, and Zero Mostel won a Tony for his chilling performance in Rhinoceros. Teenagers and their music were becoming a delight to recording companies and something of a pain in the neck to their parents. Paul Lynde sang Kids in the Tony-winning Bye Bye Birdie.
Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids, who can understand anything they say? Kids, they are disobedient, disrespectful oafs. Noisy, crazy, sloppy, lazy, loafers. While we're on the subject, kids, you can talk to your faces blue. Kids, but they still do just what they want to do. Why can't they be like we were, perfect in every way? What's the matter with kids today? Kids! I don't mind midnight swim, it's the loop that hurts. Kids! How'd we ever beat the Russians? Kids! I didn't know what puberty was, so I almost passed it. Laugh and sing and dance and grin and morons. While we're on the subject, kids, they are just impossible to control. Kids, with their awful clothes and their rock and roll. Why can't they dance like we did? What's wrong with Sammy Kaye? What's the matter with kids today?
Young had taught us to sing, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And Blowing in the Wind. Paul Scofield and A Man for All Seasons won the Dramatic Tony Award, and Robert Morse was the musical winner for the tuneful spoof of corporate America, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Now there you are. Yes, there's that face that somehow I trust. It may embarrass you to hear me say it, but say it I must, say it I must. You have the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet there's that upturned chin and that grin of impetuous youth. I believe in you. I believe in you. And when my faith in my fellow man all but falls apart, I've got to feel your hands grasping mine, and I take heart. I take heart to see the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet with the slam, bang, tang, reminiscent of gin and vermouth. I believe
In 1963, the New York Times ran an article which noted that 4 singers in England, called the Beatles, were making quite a stir and were the cause of numerous teenage riots. If we'd only known. And Winston Churchill was made an honorary United States citizen. There were floods in Italy, and Venice sank another inch. Martin Luther King spoke from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and told us he had a dream. And then in November, we were stunned by the news from Dallas. In the theater, Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf took a Tony-winning look at contemporary marriage, and Zero Mostel proved his versatility by singing his way to the Tony for A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Playgoers, I bid you welcome. The theater is a temple, and we are here to worship the gods of comedy and tragedy. Tonight, we are pleased to announce a comedy. Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing with kings, nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars, and clowns. Old situations, no complications. Nothing portentous or polite. Pantaloons and tunics, courtesans and eunuchs, funerals and chases, lovers and bases, slanderers, philanderers, cupidity, timidity, mistakes, fakes, rhymes, mine, bumblers, 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 a royal pace, no toted home, and a happy ending of home. And madness, man in his madness, this time it all turns out all right. Tragedy tomorrow,
myself in a very awkward spot here tonight. All the nominees this year for Best Actor in a Play are British. Invading these shores is a deeply ingrained British habit. Dates back actually to Queen Elizabeth. And then there was that trouble with George III. You were all a bit uptight about it back then, but I should like to thank you for being so gracious about it now. The nominees for Best Actor in a Play are Ralph Richardson in Home, John Gielgud in Home, Alec McCowan in The Philanthropist, and Brian Bedford in The School for Wives. And the winner is Brian Bedford in The School for Wives.
Very wise choice. Now, I was absolutely so positive that I couldn't win it with Sir John and Sir Ralph and Alec. And so I don't have anything to say. John Gielgud, about 15 years ago, taught me verse speaking, and I hope he doesn't regret it too bitterly tonight. I know he doesn't. Richard Wilbur must be thanked because he's, as well as being a great American poet, he
made this 17th century French play into a contemporary classic, I think. And T. Edward Hambleton, who's been producing the right kind of plays for years and years, and I'm so glad that he continued to do so. And Stephen Porter, who is a marvelous director, thank you so much. Thank you.
Cassius Clay fought his way to the heavyweight title, and Marshall McLuhan was giving us the message about the media. We were all reading Up the Down Staircase and going to the New York World's Fair. The Tony that year was awarded to a show which was to become the longest running musical of all time. Remember when Tony winner Carol Channing walked out on that runway and spoke to her late husband?
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've locked the door, I've put out the cat, I've made myself a little rum toddy. And before I went to bed, I said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that leaf. For years I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so I have decided to rejoin the human race. I'm gonna marry Harris Vandergelder. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away before the parade passes by. I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life before the parade passes by. I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high, for I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again, I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead, listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead, pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Lyndon Johnson was inaugurated. Joe Namath joined the Jets, and The Sound of Music began its not yet ended tour of the world screen. The riots in Watts focused attention on the problems of ghetto life, and the best musical of the year dealt with the ghettos of an earlier time. Zero Mostel. And the Tony winner of 1965, Fiddler on the Roof.
Dear God, you know you made many, many poor people. I know it's no great shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. What would have been so terrible if I had a small fortune? If I were a rich man, all day long I'd pity-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a pity rich, title man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There could be one long staircase just going up and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see it in, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud will land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd pity-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a pretty rich, title man, I'd see my wife, my Goldie, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to our heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Boy, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come to fawn on me. They will ask me to advise them, like a Solomon was. If you please, Reptilian, pardon me, Reptilian, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in a synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. Oh, if I were a rich man, All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
If one had to find a predominant theme for the musicals of 1966, it would most certainly be the articulation of a personal philosophy, the unquenchable human spirit. In the confusion of contemporary life, Mame and two-time Tony winner Angela Lansbury advises us to open a new window.
Open a new window, open a new door, travel a new highway that's never been tried before. Before you find you're a dull fellow, punching the same clock, walking the same tightrope as everyone on the block. The fellow you want to be is three-dimensional, soaking up life down to your toes. Whenever they say you're slightly unconventional, just put your thumb up to your nose and show them how to dance to a new rhythm, whistle a new song, toast with a new vintage. The fizz doesn't fizz too long. There's only one way to make the bubble stay. Simply travel a new highway, dance to a new rhythm, open a new
travel a new highway, dance to a new rhythm, whistle a new love song, toast to a new vintage, open a new window
That same year, with the same passionate optimism, Richard Kiley won his second Tony as a 16th Century Knight in the Tony-winning Man of La Mancha.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and
its arms, still strong with his last ounce of courage, to reach the unreachable star.
The nominees for Best Play are Sleuth by Anthony Schaffer, Story Theater by Paul Sills, The Philanthropist by Christopher Hampton, Home by David Story. And the winner is Sleuth. Anthony Schaffer.
It really is very remarkable to have this, but I really shouldn't be up here. At least I wouldn't be up here without some even more remarkable achievements from our cast. I'm sure most of them will forgive me if I pay particular tribute to two really tremendous performances, those of Mr. Anthony Quayle and Mr. Keith Baxter. Thank you very much.
Along with my partners, Helen Bonfils, who's out there in Denver, and Michael White over in London, I not only want to thank Tony Quayle, who's backstage, and Keith Baxter, who's out front, and Clifford Williams for directing this play, but I want to thank the man to my left for writing it so wonderfully. Thank you.
Nominees for Best Actress in a Play are Diana Rigg in Abelard and Eloise, Maureen Stapleton in The Gingerbread Lady, Estelle Parsons in And Miss Reardon Drinks a Little, Marion Seldes in Father's Day, and the winner is Maureen Stapleton.
Thank you very much. I wasn't that good. You think you've been here a long time? Well, I start thanking people. I'll try to keep it short. I'll start with my family and my loved ones and the people in Troy, New York, and the people in New York City. Now that's an hour and a half. And Neil Simon for a beautiful play and a great part and a great company and a wonderful cast. And the family of the theater, which always exists before us, now and after. They are my family. I wanted to spend my old age with my family. I didn't know it would be all in one evening, but I've had a wonderful time, and I thank you, and I love it, and would it be a lot of trouble to do it again?
The undeclared Vietnam War ground on, and the musical winner was a chilling study of pre-war Germany in the 30s, Jill Howarth and Cabaret.
What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. Start by admitting. From cradle to tomb isn't that long a stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Only a cabaret, old chum. And I love a
This was the year of the guru, of a wedding on a Greek island. It was the year of more widespread understanding of black frustration. It was the year of shattering assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy. In spite of those who dismiss the musical as something for the tired businessman, it would be hard to find a more accurate barometer of the times. Sometimes reflecting the country's mood and sometimes challenging, it has stimulated and led in social and philosophical areas. The musical winner in 1968 was Hallelujah Baby, which traced the last 100 years of black struggle, and the star that year was Leslie Uggams.
I'll get out of my little room. I'll get out of my tight and tiny little room. I'll get out in the open air, meet the gang and meet myself out there. Start connecting with the world out there. Now's the time. Now's the time. I'll go walking on down the road. Join the talkingest walking down the road. Want to be in that happy place where the places look like one big place. That's the place I want to see my face. Now's the time. Now's the time. No more singing for myself. No more going it myself and all alone. Gotta sing for everyone's supper, not just my own. I'll get out of my little room, say goodbye to my tight and tiny little room, say hello to the open air. Just can't wait to meet myself out there. Here I come to join the world out there. Now's the time. Now's the time. Now's the
The Great White Hope was voted the best play, and Angela Lansbury won her second Tony for Dear World. Keeping a promise first made by President Kennedy, American spacemen walked on the moon, and 400,000 American young came together to listen to music in Woodstock, New York. The Tony winner was about young revolutionaries, 200 years ago in colonial America, 1776. And John Adams in Philadelphia writes to his wife in Massachusetts.
Abigail, I'm very lonely, Abigail. Come to Philadelphia, please come.
Oh, thank you, John. I do want to. But you know now it's not possible. The children have the measles.
Yes, so you wrote. Tom and little Abby
Only now it's Quincy and Charles. And it appears the farm here in Braintree is failing. John, the chickens and the geese have all died. The apples never survived the late frost. How do you suppose Martha Jefferson got away?
Oh, well, the winters are softer in Virginia.
And their women, John.
Fit for Virginians, madam, but pale, puny things besides New England girls.
John, I thank you for that.
Abigail, how goes it with you?
Not well, John. Not at all well. I live like a nun in a cloister, solitary celibate. I hate it. And you, John?
I live like a monk in an abbey. Ditto, ditto, I hate it.
Write to me with sentimental effusion. Let me revel in romantic illusion.
Do you still smell of vanilla and spring air? And is my favorite lover's pillow still firm and fair?
What was there, John? Still is there, John. Come soon as you can to my cloister. I've forgotten the feel of your hand.
Soon, madam, we shall walk in Cupid's grove together, and we'll fondly survey the promised land. Till then, I am as I ever was, and never shall be. Yours, 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 yours.
Well, 1970 is too close for us to have any historical perspective, except for a theatrical fact. That's a pleasure to face Tony-winning Lauren Bacall in last year's Tony Award-winning musical, Applause.
Welcome to the theater, to the magic, to the fun, where painted trees and flowers grow and laughter rings fortissimo and treachery sweetly done. Welcome to the theater. With some luck, you'll be a pro. You'll work and slave and scratch and bite. You'll learn to kill with sheer delight. You'll only come alive at night when you're in a show. Welcome to the theater, my dear. We love it so. Hold it, Elliot. Please stop the music. No, I'm awfully sorry. I really can't stand it anymore. I'm much too nervous. I remember the way I felt last year, sitting out there, hoping that my name would be called. And I don't want to keep my fellow actors waiting one more second. So let's get on with it. Now, the nominees for Best Actress in a Musical are Helen Gallagher in No No Nanette, Elaine Stritch in Company, Susan Browning in Company, and Sandy Duncan in The Boyfriend. And the winner is Helen Gallagher in No No Nanette.
Now, if I remember what Bert Sheveloff told me, to talk slow, I might get some words out here. I have so many people to thank. Our dear Ruby Keeler, without whom there would be no Nanette. And Donald Sadler, who does such lovely dances for us. And Bert, our dear director, and Raoul, who made me look gorgeous for the first time in my old age. and so many people. But what I'd like to say is, since I've been in this show, so many people have come backstage to me and said, Helen, finally you got a part. Good girl. You're going to win it. You really are going to win it. And what this makes me feel is that this award is to all of us that have stuck in a business, maybe long after anybody wanted us, stuck because we didn't know what else to do, no imagination, stuck because we had to stick. It's for us that stick. Thank you.
Now, the nominees for Best Actor in a Musical are David Burns in Lovely Ladies, Kind Gentlemen, Larry Kurt in Company, Hal Linden in The Rothschilds, Bobby Van in No Nanette. And the winner is Hal Linden, The Rothschilds.
You got another sticker here. I've tried over the years to say my thank yous as I went along. I think I always fantasized standing here and accepting this thing, and I wouldn't want to waste your time with a lot of names. And after a few years, you got a lot of people to thank. But I would like to thank my family, which has stood beside me. And I'm lucky this year I got two. So let me thank Amschel, Solomon, Nathan, Jacob, Kalman, Gittele, Ian, Nora, Jennifer, Amelia, and my own Cheska. I would also like to say a word to my friends in the balcony. For those of you who've spent all those awful Saturday mornings in the understudy rehearsals, this is for you too. Keep the faith.
Nominees for Best Musical of a Musical are Stephen Sondheim for Company, Jerry Bach for the Rothschilds, Gary William Friedman for the Me Nobody Knows. And the winner is Stephen Sondheim for Company.
It's odd how there's never been a Tony Award for an orchestrator, and there's no score on Broadway that exists without orchestration. And in my opinion, the most brilliant orchestrations ever made in the musical theater are those of Jonathan Tunick for Company, and I want to share this with him. Also, the Tony Awards used to give awards to conductors. There's also no musical that works in any way without a conductor who keeps everything together and makes the music sound good. So for Hal Hastings, I'd also like to share this award with him. And I never thought very highly of awards, but I must say, it's awfully nice to win one. And thank you.
Excuse me, but I just had to explain something to you before making this next presentation, this award. I know it may come as a shock to some of you, but the performers do not make up the words while they sing along to the music. No, there is a man who does this for them. And he is called a lyricist. Isn't that marvelous? Now, the nominations for the best lyricist of a musical are Stephen Sondheim for Company. These are the nominations. Sheldon Harnick for The Rothschilds. Will Holt for The Me Nobody Knows. I swore I wouldn't do that. The winner is Stephen Sondheim for Company.
It's even nicer to win, too. Thank you.
Now, this next award goes to the man who writes the words that you say when you are not singing the words that the lyricist wrote. You understand? Yes. Now, the nominations for the best book of a musical are George Firth for Company, Robert H. Livingston and Herb Shapiro for The Me Nobody Knows, and Sherman Yellen for The Rothschilds. And the winner is George Firth for Company.
I'm very honored. I found myself in the most wonderful company in the world, and I have to thank all my married friends.
The nominees for Best Musical are Company, The Me Nobody Knows, The Rothschilds. And the winner is Company!
Ruthie will do the talking for both of us.
Well, I just want to thank a marvelous company and a wonderful crew that I've had all these years, and Hal for making it possible.
Stay tuned as 30 stars salute Tony, the theater's proudest tradition.
Since the beginning of recorded time, and probably long before, man has had theater in some form. Religious pageants, harvest festivals, strolling players. There were those once-in-a-lifetime occasions when a Vestal Virgin got flung to the lions, but that's rather gone out of style. Of course, some do say that there's more than a remnant of the practice left in facing the critics on opening night, but never mind. The point is, all the world shares theater. And in spite of our plays, which have certainly enriched the world's culture and literature, there is no doubt one of America's unique contributions to the world's theater has been the Broadway musical.
There's no business like show, business like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. No way can you
stage of the Palace Theater, you can see Lauren Bacall in Applause.